en otras partes tanto de España como de Asia. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, good morning for the audience here in Europe, in Spain, and good afternoon for the audience in Asia. First of all, I would like to thank you and welcome each and every one of you for attending and taking part in this event. I would personally like to thank you all of the speakers that are today with us in this seminar. First of all, Ms. Grace Lee, Acting Special Representative for Hong Kong Economic and Trade Affairs to the European Union. Mr. Pablo Vázquez, Executive Director, Madrid Futuro. And the following speaker will be Higinio Martínez, Hong Kong Trade DC Consultant, Spain and Portugal, and CEO of Omnicrom PR Group in Spain. Ms. Paula Kant, Head of Investment Promotion, Investment Hong Kong in Brussels. Ms. Ran Chen, Robbie, China Business Manager. Ignacio Adrada, CEO PTS Global Quality Solutions, and finally, Marius Rosell, CEO of Trilogy Company. A special thanks to Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office and Hong Kong Trade Development Council for this good relation we have with the Madrid Chamber of Commerce in this kind of events, and especially to address the information and be close to the business community here in Spain and especially in Madrid. We have a long history of cooperation here in Madrid and of course in Hong Kong, and we hope to have the opportunity to travel in the next months, not very a long way, just to make special activities with business delegation in Hong Kong. A special thanks as well to the collaboration we have as well with the government of the region and the municipality of Madrid in these activities and their commitment in the objective to promote the internationalization of the companies from Madrid. We have different collaboration agreements, and I thank you very much their efforts to be close to the companies and bring business opportunities to the different markets we operate all around the world. We are very pleased, and it's a great honor for the Madrid Chamber of Commerce to host these events today with this special guest we have. Also, the speakers will speak more into detail about Hong Kong. I would like to say some small things about, for example, the GDP. The GDP per capita last year was 32,000 euros. Hong Kong is one of the most service-oriented economy in the world. Service sector accounting over 93% of the GDP in 2020. According to the World Trade Organization, Hong Kong is the world's sixth largest exporter of merchandise trade last year, and it's with an excellent reputation as an international hub, few barriers to trade and low tax. Hong Kong is likely to continue to be the Asia's #1 international business hub. Its unique geographical location, bringing the gap between East and West, means that if you want to expand your business, Hong Kong remains to go to the option. We are meeting here today in the framework of the exceptional difficulty in energetic, social, and economic terms. Events like this one are relevant for those companies that are already working in Hong Kong or are willing to do so. I'm sure that all the participants will find very interesting and helpful this seminar. It will provide Spanish companies useful information to doing business in this prosperous market full of opportunities. And now I'm delighted to give the floor to Ms. Grace Lee, Acting Special Representative for Hong Kong Economic and Trade Affairs to the European Union. Thank you very much, Grace.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to welcome you all to this seminar. My office, the Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office in Brussels, is the official representation of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region governments to the European Union and 15 countries, including Spain. Hong Kong is actually a small city with only 7.5 million populations. Yet it is one of the globe's top financial center, a trading and logistic hub, and one of the most welcoming and business-friendly cities in the world. The latest Fraser Institute reports has once again crowned us as the world's freest economy. We enjoy the twin advantage of benefiting from the full support of our country, China, and at the same time having a unique status under the one country, two systems principle enshrined in our basic law. This means that Hong Kong has its own economic and tax systems and is a customs territory in its own right. There are no tariffs for the vast majority of products and no value-added tax. We have our own convertible currency, the Hong Kong dollar, and our own common law system based on the rule of law and an independent judiciary. Overseas entrepreneurs find us a safe and reliable base from where they can access the huge markets of the mainland China and the Asia-Pacific region. Being the gateway to the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau Greater Bay Area, we are given an additional edge as a business partner to tap into this huge market of 86 million populations. When the world economy is recovering from the unprecedented hit of the pandemic, Hong Kong is definitely an unmissable partner for your business to rebuild and rebound. And today we are focusing on the healthcare, medical and biotech sector, an area of strategic and growing importance. COVID-19 has highlighted the value of good healthcare systems and the need for effective solutions ready to cope with risks. The Asia Summit on Global Health held in Hong Kong last week has shown Hong Kong's determination to work with researchers, business, governments over the world to meet challenges to the life and health of mankind through innovation and technology. Together, we could work better in shaping the future of global health. Hong Kong has world-renowned researchers and institutions. 5 of our universities are ranked among the top 100 worldwide, and our 2 medical schools are among the top 40 in the world. Last month, our government announced Hong Kong's policies priority for the health sector, with innovation and technology playing a crucial role. Hong Kong is emerging as an exciting regional destination for health-related tech firms with well-developed startups and scale-up ecosystem and resources at their disposal. Hong Kong is the world's leading fundraising hub for biotech companies. There are more than 250 biotechnology-related companies in Hong Kong. The Inno Hong Kong Research Cluster at the Hong Kong Science Park comprise more than 30 prominent universities and research institutes from 11 countries and economies. In collaboration with our local universities, they have set up 28 research laboratories, 16 of which focus on life and health technology. The government of Hong Kong has been playing a key role in promoting the development of biotechnologies and health-related technologies. We would continue to deepen our efforts in the coming days, which would include the establishment of an InnoLife Health Tech Hub in Hong Kong, Shenzhen Innovation and Technology Park. We will also establish an office for attracting strategic enterprise to help representative enterprises from around the world to start operating in Hong Kong. Beginning in 2024, we will make use of the land in the Hong Kong Shenzhen Innovation and Technology Park to attract notable companies to Hong Kong with a focus on strategic industries such as life and health technology. We will further our commitments in supporting research in our higher education sector. The government is setting aside an additional of US at 1.3 billion to fund at least 100 university research teams with the potential to become successful startups. We want to encourage collaboration among the academic, research, and industry sectors to facilitate commercialization of our strong R&D outcome. Ladies and gentlemen, there will be many business, investment, and collaboration opportunities with Hong Kong for Spanish companies in this important sector in the years ahead. I'm very thankful to Camera Madrid and the Hong Kong Trade Development Councils in co-organizing this very meaningful event with our office. And I would also like to thank our speakers here today. I'm sure the views and information they are going to share would inspire you and make a difference in your business. I wish you a very fruitful event day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lee. Thank you very much. I would like to give the floor to Mr. Pablo Vázquez. It was out. It was switched off. Pablo Vázquez, Executive Director, Madrid Futuro. Thank you, Pablo. You have the floor.
Be today with all of you. First of all, thank you to Chamber of Commerce to hosting this event, also to the Hong Kong Economic and Trade Affairs Office, and also to Eugenio and his team that has prepared this event. Today I was doubting if I have to speak in Spanish or in English. So you will see. I will do it in. I guess it's better to do it in English, or I will try to do my best in English. But you will see that the slides are in Spanish. So I will try to translate the slides as we are following them. In any case, both. If you have any doubt, please just let me know, and I will try to do it. So the topic that I have to somehow carry on during the next 15 minutes is as you see, Spanish SMEs and what happened with the Spanish SMEs after the pandemic. That's if we can say that we are after the pandemic, which probably is something that we can discuss somehow, but at least let's think that we are after the pandemic. So I will be the one moving this. Let me see.
It's not working.
Okay. So the like first idea that I will share with you, especially with the people that are known from Spain, is that as you see, almost 99% of the enterprise companies in Spain are SMEs. So we are clearly, as other Southern European countries, we are a country of SMEs. The weight, the relevance of the SMEs in our economy is huge. So most of the companies that you can find in Spain are SMEs. SMEs provide around 60% of the GDP of our economy, more or less, and around 70% of our employment. That's are like the big numbers about the relevance of the Spanish of the SMEs in the Spanish economy. So if you want to work with Spain somehow, you end up working with SMEs. So relevance is clear. The first message. The second message is that after the pandemic, the SMEs were clearly optimistic about the future. So and it was very clear, even in this special city, you know, Madrid was probably one of the most open cities in Europe during the last waves of the pandemic, and part of it is because really the entrepreneurs, the SMEs, thought that we should start doing things. So you have there the numbers: 7 out of 10 of the SMEs thought that the future will be better than the present. So they want to invest, and they have an optimistic view of the future, more than the world media about the same question. 4 out of 5, they expect to improve the income, the profitability of the company. Actually, 81% thought that they are ready to improve the level of profitability earlier, before the pandemic. 7 out of 10, they were happy with their teams. Remember that in the United States, at the same time, we have this movement after the pandemic in which people were quitting the companies. So they said not to work anymore in these companies that they were doing before the pandemic. That's something that not happened in Spain. As you see, most of the people are happy with their teams and they want to continue working with them. And 2 out of 5, which is not such a good number, they trust in that they will be able to improve the number of clients and the knowledge of their companies. So the second big message that I want to send is that right after the pandemic, and I would underline this, right after the pandemic, the view about the future was very optimistic, at least in Spain and probably also in Madrid. But eventually, thank you. But eventually, as all of us know, the situation changed in a very dramatic way, I would say. This new normality really doesn't come up as was expected, and the perspectives, the foresee of the future start being a lot worse than was expected. And the reason for that also is very well known. First of all, inflation. Inflation is something that we don't have in Europe, at least in the last 10 years, at least since the European Central Bank was created. That happened well, actually more than that, in 15 years. We don't have inflation in Spain. We have inflation actually in Europe. And so these 2 digits in inflation were something very unexpected. And at the same time, we are not used to deal with inflation. And that was a really important, because companies, SMEs, don't know exactly how to handle the fact that the inflation was eroding somehow we were losing not only the benefits, but also the costs were increasing very rapidly. As you see, actually the last report that we have seen saying that 15% of the SMEs thought that the inflation can somehow make not viable these companies. So we have one thing, which is inflation. The second is the lack of digitalization of our companies. This is something, especially SMEs. This is something that come up clearly after the pandemic. The pandemic, as we know, is something that accelerates changes that was happening already in society. And what happened with the pandemic is that somehow some of them were getting more acceleration, and one of them was digitalization, and one of the features of the Spanish SMEs is the lack of digitalization. As you see the number there, 26% of our SMEs were digitalized somehow. And third has to be more with the supply chains and the problems with the supply chains after the pandemic. The SMEs were very related with very specific supply chains, and in all the companies suffer because of these problems with supply chains in every country, but also the SMEs for sure, because the level of diversification of our SMEs was very limited, and then somehow this is something that clearly have affected also our SMEs. So this is like the I would say the less happy part of this image of what is happening. It's working. Okay, great. So what should be our aim? Our aim, I guess, is somehow to transform these eventual problems in opportunities for our SMEs. I guess that inflation was something that were not very, as I mentioned, was something that we don't have very, we are not used to deal with that. Means for most of the SMEs an increase and huge increase in cost. And we have to be, and the idea is the SMEs should be an incentive to innovate and to look for other ways to reduce cost or to maintain at least the level of cost that they have. So I guess that this unexpected increase of cost can be a very good opportunity to really invest in innovation. You know, at Spain now, we are the second country in Europe receiving more European funds for this transformation, for this innovation, and we have the opportunity to somehow to use it. And secondly, I would like to mention this new law of startups that was very recently approved, and I guess that has made substantial change in the way that startups can start doing things, and somehow focus Spain or the Spanish economy in the kind of things that we should be focused, which is more related with innovation, sustainability, and so on. So I guess that this really, I would think that it's worthy to mention this law, because I guess it's really a step ahead in somehow in this way. The second problem that we have, as I mentioned, is lack of digitization. So and here we have a huge opportunity, and I'm sure that from Hong Kong we can learn a lot how to digitalize our economy, and we need to learn from others and from the ones that are ahead of us. And the good thing is we have a lot to improve somehow in that sense. I guess that the opportunity to improve the efficiency of SMEs in Spain is huge through digital transformation. And thirdly, I mentioned these problems with the supply chains, which is a message, I guess, for our SMEs to internationalize and to diversify the markets in which they receive the inputs that we need for our companies. As you said, we are not, our SMEs usually are not very pro exports. 85% usually don't export, but the medium ones, yes, they do it, and this is the way that we probably have to do, is to try to increase the size of our SMEs, make them more middle companies, and they will eventually do that. Madrid Futur is starting to help in this situation. Madrid Futur is an NGO, the one that I mentioned, which is an NGO of the 21st century, in the sense that what we do is try to put in place projects that can somehow improve the economy, in this case of Madrid. And we I'm not very technological, as you see. Okay, and that's my last slide, and this is just an example of what we are doing. We are doing a project in Madrid Futuro called La Barra Digital, the digital bar. Can be, I don't know how to translate it. Digital cafeteria, digital whatever. No, what is here the idea? The idea is to help the restaurants, all the sector related with food, to digitalize. How we are doing that? We are doing that with some videos. We were making some videos, but especially we put someone that is helping to the owner of these cafeterias, to this bar, how to do it, because well, Exactly. Technical, this is kind of a technical assistant for people that are not where we are thinking is not the young entrepreneur. We are thinking more in the old owner of a cafeteria in the middle of, in our case, neighborhood in Madrid. And he doesn't know anything about internet. He doesn't know anything about this kind of delivery things. So we try to help them with someone that isn't sitting next to him and doing with him all the procedure to digitalize, to get delivery, to have a menu on internet, etc. Think that 85% of the people that usually go to restaurants, when we go to restaurants, 85 of us look at the internet and look how is the place before going to that place. So it's for them it's critical to be in internet, to be part of the system in order to make them sustainable in the medium. That's what I was today to share with you. I thank you for your attention and happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you.
Thank you, Pablo, and thank you, Mr. Lee. Now we are going to change the table with the following speakers. So please, Virginia Martinez and Pablo Can. We have seen the different challenges that the SMEs has to do during the coming months, years, just to be competitive. And now we are going to speak about health care and as the new strategic growth sector. I'm going to give the floor to Mr. Higinio Martinez, Hong Kong TDC consultant in Spain and Portugal, and CEO of Nicron PR Group in Spain. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Esther. Thank you for all the authorities from Brussels here, from the Cámara de Comercio de Madrid, and all the people that has helped us to make possible this event. Voy a ir cambiando entre el español y el inglés para que todo el mundo nos podamos entender, también la gente que está al otro lado de la pantalla. Prometo ser extremadamente breve en la presentación de lo que tenemos previsto, que es primero un breve snapshot or a quick summary or what it is the Hong Kong Trade Development Council. Creo que lo explicaría más rápidamente si os digo que es como la versión del ICEX, pero del gobierno de Hong Kong. Es una entidad del gobierno de Hong Kong destinada a promover el comercio bilateral entre especialmente las pequeñas y medianas empresas. Igual que mi compañera al otro lado de la mesa, Paula, de Invest Hong Kong, está más centrada en las compañías de tamaño mediano y grandes compañías para el mismo objetivo. Y por tanto, como nos dedicamos y nos centramos en las compañías medianas y pequeñas, las ferias de promoción en la que Hong Kong es conocido como el mejor, el más grande, el más numeroso y el más importante hub de Asia en términos de ferias trade fairs. Una de ellas, de la que vamos a hablar hoy enseguida, es el Summit de Salud, el Summit Healthcare, que se va a celebrar próximamente. Entonces, aquí directamente arriba, ¿no? Ah, no, avance. Bueno, creo que Grace al principio me puedo saltar esta parte porque hemos hablado, gracias a ella, de la importancia de Hong Kong como mercado, como hub para la Gran Bahía, para ir al mainland China. Pero bueno, por daros un pequeño repaso, estas serían las 50 oficinas globales que tiene el Trade Development Council, el ICEX de Hong Kong. Por tanto, tiene, como veis, un alcance global. Lo que se ofrece a la pequeña y mediana empresa española es Market Intelligence, es Training, es servicios de asesoría, Global Trade Fairs, an e-commerce platform. This has been especially important this pandemic period, when traveling was impossible to the Hong Kong fairs. The Hong Kong Trade Development Council developed a digital platform to assist to these fairs virtually, and make a platform to make possible deal making and actually have interviews with owners, investors, any kind of stakeholders between the both parts. So, traduciendo rápidamente, durante la pandemia, la plataforma digital del TDC se ha sofisticado enormemente para poder asistir virtualmente a las ferias y no solamente asistir, sino poder hablar one-to-one con inversores, con sources, gente que te puede ser proveedor, incluso una plataforma bastante sofisticada de deal making, o sea, de poder cerrar negocio concreto y firmar contratos virtualmente a través de esta plataforma digital. Esto ha sido un paso extraordinario. Bien, pues las business missions, que sí han sido menos importantes en esta época de pandemia, pero esperamos que muy pronto vuelvan a serlo. Algunos de las ferias más importantes de Asia, como por ejemplo el Asian Financial Forum, ALMAC, en fin, algunas de las top trade fairs en Asia son celebradas en Hong Kong anualmente, cubriendo todo tipo de sectores industriales que puedan ser objeto de interés para las pequeñas y medianas empresas españolas. Y nada más en cuanto a la explicación de lo que es brevemente el TDC. Lo que vamos a hacer ahora es enfocarnos a través de un vídeo en concreto la próxima feria importante que tenemos delante, a la cual invito a las pequeñas y medianas empresas españolas del sector de tecnologías médicas, del sector farma, que es el Asian Summit of Health. A través de este vídeo os invito a que lo veáis. Creo que en breve, en cuanto que me indiquen, podemos dar paso al vídeo. ¿Lo tenemos ya? Cada una de las ferias de cabecera importantes como esta del Summit Health tiene su propia página web dedicada, tiene su propia plataforma virtual de asistencia, de deal making, o sea que os invito a que podáis visitarlo a través de la web. Pero os sirva este vídeo como anticipo de lo que podéis encontrar.
Deputy Director Yin Zhonghua of the Liaison Office of the Central People's Government in the Hong Kong SAR, Ms. Margaret Fong, Executive Director of the Hong Kong Trade Development Council, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all, and good day to all of you joining online from Hong Kong, throughout Asia, and around the world. I'm delighted to welcome you to the second Asia Summit on Global Health. This year's theme, Charting a New Course in Healthcare Through Collaboration, reflects the lingering reality of COVID-19, the pandemic that has, for nearly 3 years now, shaken the world, our economies, our businesses, and our communities. The uncertainties posed by the once-in-a-century pandemic still run wide and deep around the globe. From the loss of loved ones to disruptions in supply chains, the ongoing pandemic has wreaked havoc to humanity at every level imaginable. The difference in the capabilities of healthcare systems across different parts of the planet, be it the availability of vaccines or the adequacy of public hospital services, has also resulted in a disparity in prevention and treatment services available to different people. For some of the prevalent COVID-19 strains, vaccination is an effective means of preventing severe and death cases among patients. But threats continue to exist with the emergence of other mutant strains or even other viruses, old or new. Monkeypox and melioidosis are some immediate examples of diseases that cause local or even global concerns. The development of public health does indeed warrant a new course in healthcare for humanity. Meanwhile, if the global reach of public health challenges has been distressing, it has also starkly underlined the importance of collaboration, also at every level. More than just a slogan, the theme of today's summit, collaboration, should serve as a pivotal strategy, the road to take if we are to move with speed and certainty into recovery and make our way towards a flourishing future. That promising prospect has brought together some 21,000 business and academic leaders, investors, startups, policymakers, and a world of healthcare professionals for this two-day summit. And you have come to this right place for that prospect. Hong Kong is well known for its tenacity and adaptability in face of challenges. In the next couple of minutes, I would like to share with you our three directions in charting the new course in healthcare through collaboration. First, promoting innovation in public health. Innovation and technology is the heart of Hong Kong's policy priorities and our drive to create collaborative programs and initiatives with our country and the larger world in order to tackle healthcare and other challenges. It helps that 5 of our universities are ranked among the top 100 worldwide, and that our 2 medical schools are among the top 40 in the world. We are also home to respected clinical and research centers recognized by the National Medical Products Administration of China and regulatory bodies around the world, including those in the US and the EU. We are the world's leading fundraising hub for biotech companies. Since the launch of a new listing regime in April 2018, more than 50 pre-revenue or pre-profit biotechnology companies have been listed in Hong Kong. They have today raised some $14.6 billion. Alongside biotechnology, our life and health sector is thriving. The Inno-Hong Kong research clusters at Hong Kong Science Park bring together more than 30 prominent university and research institutes from 11 countries and economies. In collaboration with our local universities, they have set up 28 research laboratories, 16 of which focus on life and health technology. That's just the beginning. We are investing some $1.3 billion to promote life and health technology. That includes the establishment of an InnoLife Health Tech Hub in the Hong Kong Shenzhen Innovation and Technology Park. As announced in my policy address last month, we are setting aside an additional 10 billion Hong Kong dollars, equivalent to $1.3 billion to launch a research, academic, and industry sectors 1+ scheme next year. It will fund at least 100 university research teams with the potential to become successful startups. Our goal is to encourage collaboration among the academic, research, and industry sectors in the transformation and realization of our strong R&D outcomes. Innovative technology is inspired and brought to bright life by talented professionals. That brings me to our second direction, which is about ensuring a sustainable drive of competitiveness. Given our far-reaching ambition in INT and its critical role in our future, Hong Kong needs the best from the world to ensure we stay on the top in health and in other areas. We shall establish the Office for Attracting Strategic Enterprises, which will come up with tailor-made facilitation measures for representative enterprises around the world to commence operation in Hong Kong. Beginning in 2024, we will make use of land in the Hong Kong Shenzhen Innovation and Technology Park and 5 billion Hong Kong dollars in funding, equivalent to some 640 million US dollars, to attract notable companies and talents to Hong Kong. Our focus will be on such strategic industries as life and health technology. We're also committed to supporting research in our higher education sector to boost Hong Kong's competitiveness. In my policy address, I've promised to expand our funding for research positions at universities, boosting the number of publicly funded postgraduate research places by almost 30% over the next 2 years. Eventually, we target to have 35% of our university students studying STEAM subjects in the coming 5 years. Our third direction, and perhaps the most important one, is restructuring our healthcare system. The policy address offers a wealth of healthcare initiatives to build a healthier Hong Kong. At present, the healthcare system in Hong Kong focuses more on treatment than prevention. That will soon change. We will invest additional resources to promote primary health care, shifting our emphasis from a treatment-oriented, hospital-based system to one focused on prevention and the community. A primary healthcare blueprint will be published before year's end. District health centers will serve as the hub for primary healthcare services. We will partner with the private healthcare sector to promote a family doctor for all concept. That means working with healthcare professions to offer sustainable, people-centric primary healthcare services for the communities and the people of Hong Kong. Chinese medicine is another priority. While Chinese medicine has long been part of Hong Kong's healthcare system, we will regularize integrated Chinese Western medicine services, gradually expanding Chinese medicine's availability at our hospitals and in treatment. We will promote the professional development of Chinese medicine practitioners, deepening our collaboration with the mainland, particularly the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau, Greater Bay Area. Ladies and gentlemen, Hong Kong's health indicators in such areas as infant mortality and life expectancy are among the best in the world. We want to keep it that way. And more, my policy address will strengthen support measures allowing our elderly to age in place. It will also set up 16 new neighborhood elderly centers offering enhanced service for them. Despite our aging population, despite the daunting challenges of providing quality, affordable, and inclusive health care for all, I'm confident that with an innovative and determined approach, we will meet these challenges. It's much the same with COVID-19. Since taking office in July, my team and I have made substantive progress in lifting restrictions while containing the number of confirmed cases and protecting the healthcare system and our high-risk population. This includes canceling the route-specific flight suspension mechanism, introducing the red and amber codes for risk-based classification and management, and putting an end to the inbound compulsory hotel quarantine, a mechanism that has been in place for more than 2 years. We will continue to identify room for lifting restrictions in an orderly and progressive manner. Let me put it another way. We are working on specific and dedicated plans to ensure major events and economic activities can be held smoothly, to open up Hong Kong, to bring a world of business back to Hong Kong as quickly and as safely as we can. This summit, as well as last week's Global Financial Leaders Investment Summit and FinTech Week, are welcome examples. Then there was the Hong Kong Rugby Sevens, a return in a blaze of blessed glory, on and off the pitch, last weekend after an absence of 3 years. A total of 65,000 spectators have enjoyed an energetic weekend together. And the Sevens will be back again, I'm delighted to say, in just a few months. My thanks to the Hong Kong Trade Development Council for organizing this high-profile two-day summit in concert with the Hong Kong SAR government. It is, let me add, the flagship event of the inaugural International Healthcare Week, which got going at the beginning of the month and continues throughout this weekend. Healthcare Week presents a variety of medical conferences, meetings, and seminar events. It includes the 13th Hong Kong International Medical and Healthcare Fair, running alongside the summit. The trade fair features more than 300 exhibitors and their innovative healthcare products and services around the world. It is on show here at the Hong Kong Convention and Exhibition Center through tomorrow, online until 18th of November. On that note, I wish you all a very rewarding summit and the best of business and healthcare in the coming year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lee, for your.
Bueno, pues como habéis podido ver, el discurso de, digamos, las prioridades de inversión del gobierno de Hong Kong los días 10 y 11 de noviembre, esa inauguración de esta última feria, no feria, el Summit Global de Salud, que abre el reloj, la cuenta atrás para el próximo Summit del próximo año, pero en los días que quedan de reuniones online y de reunión de stakeholders de salud de todo el mundo en torno al Summit de Global Health, se ha podido escuchar, si habéis estado atentos, prioridades de transformación de lo que van a ser las inversiones de transformación del sistema de salud desde los hospitales hasta la prevención, es decir, todos los temas de innovación, todos los temas de telemedicina, de atención en remoto, van a tener, digamos, no solamente una prioridad, sino presupuestos concretos de inversión. Y en términos de Hong Kong como hub financiero mundial, desde private equities, family offices y la bolsa de valores, digamos, de equity más importante de Asia, pues es otra oportunidad para las empresas desde el punto de vista de financiarse, de tener dinero para sistemas de innovación, para seguir creciendo, para expansión internacional. Esos son los highlights del Summit de este año y bueno, pues tenemos la oportunidad, otros 11 meses y medio por delante para el Summit del año que viene. Esther.
A ver, ¿me escucháis, no? You can hear me. Okay, maybe I should. Oh, we have a helpful person going through the presentation.
Yes, I can help you, and my colleague is organizing the PowerPoint now.
Super duper. We can make it the whole screen. Yes, right. Okay. Okay. Any way to get out the top bar, because we're gonna no.
I don't think so, because we are.
Okay. No problem. Okay, then encantada de estar aquí. Very happy to be here. I will follow the protocol, do it in English, but very happy to answer any questions in Spanish. Okay. Now I'm going to go to countries and companies from countries that might want to set up in Hong Kong. I'm going to speak first and foremost about the biomedical cluster and Hong Kong as an IPO center, but I'll open with some more general stuff. Firstly, to introduce to you who is Invest Hong Kong. We're a government department and we are focused on attracting foreign direct investment. That's just a fancy sentence for saying that we help you set up an office in Hong Kong, right? And we do this, as you can see here, there's a map with 31 overseas offices, and every office helps companies from a country or more countries. I'm the head of the Brussels office, and we have the great honor to help companies from Spain and Portugal, Malta, Cyprus, Greece, Bulgaria, Romania, Croatia, plus Belgium, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and Ireland. So we come frequently in Spain looking for those of you here in the room or outside who might want to set up in Hong Kong. Our services are free. I think it's an important thing to keep in mind. Ask us first before you go to a consultant that normally charges a lot of money for things that you can get for free from us. We also have sector teams in Hong Kong. And so every company is identified by where do you come from and what sector do you work in. So that way we can give the best possible service. As an example, one of the companies we helped in the past from Spain is Football Club Barcelona. They have a small office in Hong Kong to look for, I guess, to organize the Asia trips, but also to look for more marketing and PR opportunities, right? And they fall under what is called the Business and Professional Services team. So with the 9 teams that are mentioned here, we cover all industry sectors, and I've circled a little bit those focus sectors that are important in the frame of healthcare, right? That's an increasing focus on the biomedical cluster and also on big data AI, and especially the combination of those two. Yeah. There's also a special Start Me Up Hong Kong team, and Invest Hong Kong is the organizer of 2 of the biggest festivals in Hong Kong, the Start Me Up Hong Kong Festival and the Hong Kong FinTech Week. And what do we give companies? We can tell you about the cost of doing business. What does it cost to rent an office? What does it cost to hire staff? In which area of Hong Kong might that be a good place to do that? We have a list of corporate service providers who can set up your legal entity, also who can help you with recruitment. So a lot of information. We're really a facilitator. Very quickly, macro about Hong Kong. Where are we now? Also hurt by COVID, obviously. In 2022 and 2020, the GDP dropped by 6.5%. Luckily, in 2021, there was growth again, but tourism and retail are still what we can call frozen, right? As long as there's no free travel to Hong Kong, the tourism sector is facing difficult times. Financial sector, financial services, however, keeps growing. We've helped recently a couple of Spanish companies actually that have become more active in financial services. One of them is a company called All Funds, and All Funds is a platform between asset management products and those who might want to, suppliers of asset management products, big fund companies and distributors that want to make those funds available to clients. It's not very well known that that's a Spanish company. They're really a leader in this activity and they set up in Hong Kong. Also, the BBVA has revived their equity management department in Hong Kong. So also maybe not that well known, but those companies, in this case a bank, are increasing their activities in Hong Kong, right? We also help companies much smaller. There's a small social media company called Social and Sons. They are, I think, in Hong Kong, 3 people, right? And in Madrid, maybe there are 5 to 8. So it's not only, we don't only help big companies. We help whichever company of whichever size wants to set up in Hong Kong. And a quick overview, the previous speakers have already mentioned it. Financial services, still the largest business sector in Hong Kong, followed by trading and logistics and the business and professional services. What makes Hong Kong such a good place to be? Previous speakers have spoken about it, so I don't want to say it again. What I do want to quickly highlight is the low and simple tax system. Corporate tax is 16.5%, but for the first 2 million Hong Kong dollars of profits, that's around 245,000 euros, it's only 8.25%, right? So comparable to Singapore, lower than mainland China. If we look at personal income tax, much lower in Hong Kong than in most of Europe at 15%. And there's no VAT. So in Hong Kong, the philosophy, I think, that that I would want you to remember is taxes are low, but also subsidies are much lower than in Europe. So you're the entrepreneur, go do it, right? It's a cheap place to do business. You can do fantastic business, but it's up to you. Because we get a lot of startups saying, oh, and what is there for me to set up? No, what there is a market. Go do it. Yeah. So the philosophy is quite different from Europe. I think that's a good thing to remember. This leading international hub, how does this work number-wise? Just a few numbers I want to share with you from this slide. 9,000 companies in Hong Kong are foreign owned. Of that 9,000, 1,500 are regional headquarters. What does that mean? It means people do business not only in Hong Kong, but also in mainland, often in South Korea, in Japan, that regional function, right? I won't go into startups because it's not today's topic. And who are from where do these foreign companies come? That's something I want to quickly highlight. You see here 5 little pictures, right? From mainland China, Japan, US, UK, and Singapore. So really quite a varied, and you might think, so where are the other European companies? Well, they have lower percentages, so they come a little later in the list. Now, Spanish companies in Hong Kong, because let's bring it back to where we are here. 92 Spanish companies in Hong Kong with an office. That can be a subsidiary, a branch office, a rep office, right? Of those, 44 are regional commercial offices, so regional marketing and sales offices, right? And 13 are dedicated to sourcing. Buying whatever you need in your for maybe your production in Europe. And what I always find, what I also want to highlight is, as you see from the pie chart, it's a big variety in sectors, right? It's not just one sector. The biggest group is, if we see there, fashion 11%, F&B 11%, in industrial products and technology 11%. That's a lot of the sourcing. So very broad abanico, I would say, of companies. And also to highlight here is that we have a very close and good cooperation with the Spanish consulate in Hong Kong. The trade commissioner there, Cristina Tejuela, a super active lady. Whenever a company calls her, she might call us, say, hey, we've got this company, can you help with this and this, right? And that type of cooperation, we also have it with consulates of our other countries. It's quite important, right? We also always, to a Spanish company, will say, do you know the Cristina Tejuela already? Do you know the Spanish Chamber of Commerce in Hong Kong? So really to make that, I think it's important to make all those connections, right? And Christina and the consulate, they just launched, I'm not sure if it's a competition or a certification for Spanish restaurants in Hong Kong. So a lot of really good and nice initiatives. And I would like to say, this is where we see our tax money at work. So it's well spent. Well, we often complain, right? All of us. Now, a recent success story that I want to mention, and sorry, it's under the bar. It's a company called Idrica. They are a water, they have softwares for water management. They're from Valencia. They are initially, they were part of the Valencia water distribution company. They've gone international in quite an impressive way, and they won a contract with the water supplies department in Hong Kong. So what did we help with, you would think? So if they have a contract, do they need any help? Well, we smoothed the communication with the water supplies department. Since we're a government department, Invest Hong Kong is 100% government, we have very easy access to other government departments. We help them suggest a list of corporate service providers to set up their Hong Kong Limited. We actively played a role in the work visa applications. So, and we kept them posted every so many months, like now it's 2-week quarantine, now it's 1-week quarantine. So, you know, to keep them posted of all those developments. And the nice news is now they are actually, they have expanded this software to also cover distribution, I think, of gas. So there's a lot happening. Other recent projects, Genealogia, company from Valencia, they do fabric finishing. So the perfect holes in your jeans, that's what they do. They sell machinery equipment for that, quite a leader in that sector. They opened their Asia Pacific showroom in Hong Kong. So numerous examples. Life sciences and medical AI. Back to healthcare, that Eugenio set us on the path. I'm going to go back to healthcare. I will be brief. This is the whole biomedical development, difficult to read. But when you are a company, whether you're in basic research, preclinical, clinical trial, or commercialization and sales, in every step of the way, you have Hong Kong institutions, universities, labs, and a whole sector support and activity waiting for you. Relevant to mention are the global pharma companies in Hong Kong, because what we see very clearly, biotech and small pharma goes where there is big pharma. And this is the Hong Kong healthcare system. Don't worry about reading it all. I think the takeout here is that the healthcare system in Hong Kong is very much like here. 90% of hospital services is public and 10% is private, right? And all the organizations, this slide gives an overview of all the organizations involved, but the big picture that I want you to remember, 90-10. Right? And also there, those cute little cartoons. Hong Kong is a place where people get very old, 82.2 years for men and 87.6 for women, which also brings with it opportunities in aging, right? In facilities for people in their 80s, in products, in services. Then this is about clinical trials, again, very detailed. But here, what is important is that 4 Hong Kong hospitals are also accredited in the Chinese NPMA, that is the National Medical Products Administration. So it means that the work you do in Hong Kong is kind of valid in China, in the rest of China. Very important as well. Then this is about AI in healthcare. I think in the interest of time, I will save you that. You can all get the slides. Now, AI, increasingly important, but to dive into something that detailed, maybe not the moment now. Again, something that I want to stress is European biomedical companies that are in Hong Kong, because You might think, gosh, I'm in healthcare, I'm in biotech, and if I go to Hong Kong, do I dive there in a sea of Chinese with not a familiar face? No. There are European and Australian and US companies. 4 examples here. I would like to highlight the one Eterna Belgium there at the bottom. Why do I highlight that one? Because I helped the company myself, so I can speak from experience. That Eterna is a very good example of what Hong Kong can do for a biotech company. Eterna is, as it says here, they're in immunotherapies, mRNA immunotherapies. So that is really like the COVID vaccine, right? It's that same technique. Now that company, Eterna, signed a production and distribution and sales agreement with Grand Pharma, which is a large pharma player in mainland China. So they're very happy with that. They also opened a Hong Kong Limited because they want to serve the rest of Asia, maybe from Hong Kong, maybe signing other joint venture agreements. And also they consider to go IPO, initial public offering at the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. So very often we see this combination quite often, not just in biotech, that a company might have a joint venture in mainland China or even a WOFE, a wholly foreign owned enterprise, as well as a Hong Kong Limited, that sometimes serves as a holding, sometimes serves as simply a separate company. So Hong Kong has a role there. The other examples are from my colleagues from other offices, the Medicos AI from Austria, InVivoGen from France, and Milteni is from Germany. These are all companies that in the past few years set up in Hong Kong. So that biotech area is really thriving. Oh, am I doing something weird? A hint from the university. Fundraising capital. I will be brief because Eugenio and also Grace touched on that. Hong Kong is an IPO center, really important in Asia Pacific, as well as worldwide. Yeah, business continues also during these presentations. What I want to highlight on this slide really is that box there that says adaptability in chapter 18A. It's a special feature of the Hong Kong Stock Exchange for biotech companies that are pre-revenue and pre-profit. So as to make it possible for these smaller companies to start raising money via the stock exchange before they have revenues or profit. It's actually really generous scheme. And I won't bore you with this, not with this either. The Greater Bay Area, that is something I do want to say a few words about. The Greater Bay Area is a new name for what some of you might remember as the Pearl River Delta and the Greater Pearl River Delta. Well, to keep up with the times and to make it more sexy, it's now called the Greater Bay Area. That is Hong Kong and Macau, the 2 SARs, the special administrative regions, plus 9 cities in the Guangdong province. It makes sense to see that as a bit of an entity because everybody there speaks Cantonese, right? So there is something logical there. 86 million people. I will forgive you the number of square kilometers and the GDP, but suffice it to say, where again is this relevant? It's one of the wealthiest parts of China, and it's just across the border from Hong Kong, right? So from Hong Kong, it is you can easily do business in the Greater Bay Area, and we see increasing connections. There's still a border. Now there's still a hard border. So if you go to Shenzhen, the train is super fast, but you still have to cross the border. This combination has been used actually, the Greater Bay Area with Hong Kong for many years because companies might have a factory in the GBA and the sales team in Hong Kong, right? Might have quality control people visiting the GBA very regularly and then the sales and marketing in Hong Kong. So that, let me say that function, the Greater Bay Area has had for many years. But the connectivity is intensifying. They've built in recent years a lot of high-speed trains and bridges and other connections. And more importantly, there's a stock connect between Hong Kong and Shenzhen, between Hong Kong and Shanghai. There's a wealth management connect. Again, I'll spare you the details. There's a bond connect, and now they're going to do insure connect. But what it means is that your business possibilities from Hong Kong are increasing with these schemes. Every city has a strength in certain areas. And then there's 4 biotech companies. I quickly want to mention the Hong Kong Science and Technology Park, established in 2002, has a special incubation program for biotech companies. And this is a new innovation and technology park, Hong Kong and Shenzhen, that's jointly owned. Hong Kong, I think, has 51%. So the focus on increasing innovation is also clear in this type of initiative. I think this should be on stream and end of 2023, 2024. At this one, well, they have published in broad brushstrokes, but I would say at this moment, for the strongest place for biotech is the classic science and technology park. What the focus here will be is, I would have to check. I'm not sure. I don't, I think it is, there's also a third one, that is Cyberport, right, which is software. So Cyberport software, the Hong Kong Science and Technology Park, hardware, biotech. This one, I'm going to check. I should know. Marius, you got me there. No, please, not at all. In summary, Invest Hong Kong is there for you every step of the way, from the planning to the setup, to the launch, to the expansion. And for the biomedical, what they call the value chain, we can connect every circle is filled with content, and we can connect those dots, right? From the government departments to the universities, to the healthcare networks, to the global pharmas, R&D, and to money. And with that, I think we're there.
You have a very high offer to help the companies to be established and get information. Biomedical is clear that is a very important sector for the Hong Kong government. And now we are going to give the floor to Ms. Ranche, China Business Manager de la... Ahora, sí. De la empresa farmacéutica Rovi.
Into Spanish, okay. Antes de nada, muchísimas gracias a los organizadores por invitarme a ese evento. Cuando me contactó Eva y me dijo que si quería participar en este evento, me parecía interesante, ¿no? Sobre todo porque una parte que ha hablado Paula, que se trata, digamos, del healthcare, yo pues quería dar pues un caso real, ¿no? De cómo lo hacemos desde Rovi para entrar en el mercado de China. Desde luego el cambio es brusco, porque nosotros sí que en un principio decidimos no invertir poniendo filial en China o en Hong Kong, sino que lo hicimos a través de socios, porque tengo que reconocer que es un mercado complejo. Yo llevo 9 años en Rovi y la verdad que el mundo de farmacéuticas en China no es nada fácil, ¿no? Bueno, pues para empezar quisiera resumir en breves líneas lo que es Rovi y lo que yo hago. No sé si aquí la mayoría conocéis la empresa, pero Rovi es una empresa farmacéutica. Lleva más de 75 años investigando y creciendo en salud. El año pasado facturamos 650 millones de euros y básicamente nuestro negocio se centra en 3 líneas, ¿no? Por una parte está la línea de venta de productos propios nuestros, que eso ocupa más o menos un 36% de nuestra venta total. Por otra parte, la segunda pata es a la vez distribuimos productos de otras farmacéuticas internacionales y eso pues, puede rondar en un 26% de nuestra facturación total, ¿no? Y la tercera pata, que en los últimos años ha sido una de las más importantes, gracias pues la fabricación en terceros, ¿no? Nosotros también tenemos muchas plantas que hacemos servicios de fabricación terceros y gracias digamos, a la pandemia hemos llegado a un acuerdo con Moderna para la fabricación de la vacuna de Moderna para distribuir fuera de Estados Unidos, con lo cual esa pata ha crecido mucho. De hecho, el año pasado ocupaba un 41% de nuestra facturación total, ¿no? Y dentro de todos los servicios que tenemos en Robi, yo soy la responsable de negocios de Robi en China y lo que hago es introducir nuestros productos propios en el mercado de China. En una frase suena fácil, pero ya os digo que llevo 9 años y no es nada fácil. Y me preguntáis, ¿cómo lo hacéis desde Robi? Pues mira, yo creo que independientemente sea de invertir en Hong Kong, en China o en cualquier parte del país, el primer paso es hacer un análisis del mercado. Muchos amigos míos me dicen, Ran, quiero hacer negocios en China, preséntame gente. Y yo digo, ¿pero habéis analizado el mercado? Que es súper importante el primer paso. Y sin tener claro el análisis previo del mercado, aunque tú tengas una idea muy buena, pero luego puede llegar a fracaso. Entonces, nosotros lo que hacemos es, antes de nada, analizar el mercado, el producto que queremos introducir, va a tener éxito o fracaso. ¿Vale? El siguiente slide, please. Aquí, en el siguiente slide, os quería contar un poco cómo lo hacemos, ¿no? Entiendo que todos los que estamos aquí pues entendemos perfectamente qué es un análisis de mercado y yo quería dar unos tips de cómo lo hacemos nosotros. Por ejemplo, nosotros antes de analizar el mercado lo que hacemos es comprar datos. Compramos datos de la facturación de nuestros competidores en China, tanto digamos de su facturación total del producto que queremos competir, así como la zona donde están localizadas, ¿no? Donde están vendiendo o distribuyendo. Además, pues identificamos los cambios de mercado, los líderes, los competidores y sobre todo una parte que creo que no es fácil, pero que es importante, encontrar vuestro eslogan cuando queréis entrar en un mercado, ¿no? El mercado de China es enorme, hay muchísimos competidores y en nuestro caso lo que hacemos es buscar el eslogan que llame la atención en el mercado de China. Y tengo que decir aquí que el producto europeo gusta todavía a los consumidores chinos, porque tienen la confianza de la calidad, al menos de los productos farmacéuticos que se fabrican fuera de China, tienen una calidad que son muy competitivos, no tienen problema de auditoría en el caso de que haya algún problema. Con lo cual, nuestro eslogan para vender nuestro producto es Made in Europe, ¿vale? Somos especialistas europeos en uno de nuestros productos estrella, que es heparina de bajo peso molecular. Nos llamamos especialistas en heparinas, ¿vale? Entonces, desde mi punto de vista, cuando queréis entrar a un mercado nuevo, hay que encontrar, digamos, esa pasión de tu producto, ¿no? Que haga diferenciar a los demás, ¿vale? Este sería el primer paso. El segundo paso, que para mí es fundamental, sí, por favor, que para mí, aunque Paula, Higinio y tal comentaba de invertir directamente, ¿no? En Hong Kong, desde luego me habéis convencido, ¿eh? Si nuestro CEO quiere poner filial, no vas en China, vas en Hong Kong. Pero hasta ahora la verdad que Robi somos una empresa bastante conservadora y no nos hemos atrevido a poner filial directamente y lo que hacemos para entrar en los mercados que no es en Europa lo hacemos a través de socios, ¿vale? Que cuando hablé con Higinio, aquí gran parte son pymes, ¿no? Y entonces yo creo que es interesante, si no queréis tiraros a la piscina de poner una filial directamente en China o en Hong Kong, lo que podéis hacer, el primer paso para conocer un poco mejor el mercado es la parte de búsqueda de socios, ¿no? Y Estudiar con detalle los requisitos que vosotros creéis que va a ser vuestro socio ideal. Aquí la verdad que con nuestro socio casi lo llamamos como un matrimonio, ¿no? Cuando tú buscas un socio es como casi una pareja que quiere que sea a largo plazo y que haya cosas que encajáis como empresa, ¿no? Por favor, la siguiente. Mi razón o nuestras razones de por qué comercializar a través de socio y no directamente poniendo filial, al menos en el caso de China, es muy complejo. Las operaciones de financiación, de introducir, digamos, financiación como a hacer transferencia fuera, es complejo. En el caso de Hong Kong parece que no, con lo cual, la verdad que sigo diciendo que es un buen paso, ¿no? Nosotros, además de por qué elegimos socios, pues que las diferencias son enormes, tanto leyes, regulaciones, la cultura, el idioma, hay mucha diferencia entre China y España. Y atreverse con productos farmacéuticos directamente por tu cuenta, de verdad que hay que tener, bueno, hay que tener muchísima financiación. Es verdad que las grandes multinacionales, como aparecía en el slide de Paula, pues sí que se han atrevido, ¿no? Y por otra parte, teniendo socio, al menos en el mundo de healthcare, nos hemos dado cuenta de que podemos avanzar más rápido y a la vez que las autoridades chinas como que tienen más en cuenta el socio que tienes que tu presencia, digamos, que al final son ellos los que hacen el contacto, ¿no? Y nosotros, ¿cómo lo hacemos? La parte de identificar los socios principales. Primero, lo que hacemos es dividir como socios por niveles. Por ejemplo, el nivel 1 es el socio ideal. Queremos que cotice en la bolsa, que tenga red de venta propia, departamento de registro propio, porque en China, para un medicamento, el primer paso es el registrar. Si no se registra, no se puede vender. Y dependiendo del medicamento, si es de prescripción, más complejo aún, porque hace falta hacer ensayos clínicos. Las autoridades chinas consideran de que los ensayos que se han hecho fuera no coinciden con la población china, porque es verdad que tienen, digamos, otras características, ¿no? Y entonces, una vez que hemos identificado lo que queremos que sea nuestra pareja ideal, podemos hacer búsqueda en internet, comprar datos, asistir ferias, como decía Ingenio, que hace poco hubo ferias en Hong Kong sobre healthcare, participamos a nivel mundial y es muy importante porque ahí puedes conseguir contactos directos y de cara en cara, ¿no? Y luego, por otra parte, también tengo que decir que uno de los productos tuvimos, digamos, dificultades de encontrar socio en China y contratamos a la Cámara de Comercio, que está en Shanghái. Mucha gente no se atreve o piensa que es caro, pero las consultoras como ICEX, Cámara de Comercio, os pueden identificar socios, posibles socios que queráis que sea vuestra pareja para introducir vuestro producto. Entonces, me parece un servicio muy interesante, son muy profesionales y merece la pena, desde luego. Después de encontrar tu socio ideal, ¿qué es lo que tenéis que hacer o qué es, desde mi punto de vista, qué haría? Pues nosotros lo que hacemos es pedir plan de negocio, un plan de negocio que te expliquen de cómo lo van a vender, ¿no? De todas las fuerzas de venta que van a poner, la inversión que van a hacer. Y es muy importante porque al final tienes que evaluar lo que realmente queréis hacer conjuntamente en China o en el mercado que queréis invertir, ¿no? Y la verdad que por suerte nosotros, todos los productos que buscamos socios, hay muchos interesados y nos mandan muchos plan de negocio que a la vez evaluamos cuál puede encajar más para la venta de nuestro producto. ¿Vale? La siguiente, Esther, por favor. Una vez que, digamos, que haya encontrado el socio ideal, para mí el siguiente paso súper importante es establecer el acuerdo. Muchas veces hacemos negocio por palabras, así oralmente, y al final, desde mi punto de vista, hay que dejar todo escrito, ¿no? Al menos dejarlo escrito. Puede que se cumpla o no, pero a la hora de hacer negocio, al menos en China, yo aconsejaría establecer un acuerdo. 2 minutos, vale. Siguiente, por favor. Las cláusulas esenciales que comentamos en un acuerdo, solemos poner la parte, digamos, de derechos de comercialización, la parte financiera, las condiciones financieras y un punto importante que es la cantidad que se comprometen a distribuir, a colaborar con vosotros, ¿no? Y toda la parte pues, de esfuerzo de marketing y de Salesforce que tienen. Y luego también está la parte, digamos, de derecho de terminar el contrato si no cumplen, o sea, de early termination, de si no van a cumplir cualquier parte del contrato, que sea, pues, que tengamos derecho de terminar antes, ¿no? Con los acuerdos de China lo hacemos en ambos idiomas. El que prevalece es en inglés, pero lo traducimos al chino también para que la empresa china se dé cuenta de que realmente lo que pone en el contrato. Muchas veces, si está todo en inglés, dice, pues no me he enterado. Pues no, está en inglés y en chino, pero la que prevalece es la de la versión inglesa. Siguiente, Esther. Bueno, no te preocupes. Muchas veces cuando queremos entrar en el mercado de China, pues parece que es enorme, ¿no? Que no sabemos por dónde empezar. Pero en realidad, gran parte de China no está habitada, un 94% está habitada en la parte este, que está más cerca del mar. Y luego, por otra parte, yo me centraría en grandes ciudades, porque al final, si quieres pasar al siguiente, por favor. Al final, las grandes ciudades, las 4 que puedo mencionar y que está, de hecho, muy cerca de Hong Kong, Guangdong, Shenzhen, empezar con esas ciudades, vamos, más que suficiente, porque son 40 millones de habitantes. Con lo cual, cuando queremos entrar, como que tenemos muchas ganas, ¿no?, de comer todo el mercado de China. Pero desde nuestro punto de vista, de verdad que centraríamos en grandes ciudades que coger todo, digamos, el mercado total, ¿no? Y luego la parte de capital humano, los recursos humanos y talentos que pongas, tanto del socio como la parte de la empresa española que quiera entrar, es muy importante. Al final, el éxito está ahí, en que esté empujando todo el día para conseguir vuestras metas, ¿no? Y luego el famoso Guanxi chino que todo pinta muy bonito, pero hay que trabajarlo al final. Hay que hacer viajes, mostrar tu interés por el mercado, por tu socio, ser humilde pero presionando para que se cumpla todo, ¿vale? Y luego, para nosotros, la verdad que el mercado asiático es una montaña de rusas, ¿no? Siempre lo comento con mi jefe, que hay muchas alegrías, pero también hay muchas bajadas, con lo cual hay que tener en cuenta de que al final es un país que está muy lejos, que tiene sus propias leyes y regulaciones que hay que tener en cuenta y que la oportunidad es enorme, pero también hay un riesgo que hay que tener en cuenta, ¿vale? Pues nada, muchas gracias.
Muy interesante, la verdad. Gracias, Chen. Vamos a hacer un cambio de mesa. Vamos a ir.
Sí, a continuación os presentamos un par de casos de estudio más. Doy la palabra a Ignacio Adrada, CEO de PTS Global Quality Solutions. Ignacio, por favor, cuando quieras.
¿Se oye? Sí.
¿En inglés? Prueba.
Hello, yeah.
¿En inglés o cómo quieres? ¿Cuánto tiempo tengo? No te lo aviso.
Bueno, poneme un poco el cronómetro para ir viéndolo. Bueno, lo pongo. Vale. Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Madrid Chamber of Commerce. Sí, se va a apagar. Sí. ¿Esto para pasar las diapositivas es esto?
Sí, sí.
Hacia arriba, ¿no?
No, no, creo que es esto.
Va, vale. Es la televisión. No, yo creo que es la tele, ¿eh? Ya, no, ok. Okay, so thank you very much, Madrid Chamber of Commerce, for this invitation and the sponsors today. So I'm going to try to give you our testimonial about our experience investing in Hong Kong. First, I want to make a short, brief introduction about our company. So PTS Global Quality Solution is a joint venture, is a Spanish-Chinese company that we provide quality control services for the supply chain, especially in Asia, but not just in Asia. Also, we cover inspection, testing, and auditing services for the supply chain in mainland China, in Southeast of Asia, Europe, and Latin America. So since we started in 2013, we have been expand our business with the main hub in Hong Kong to mainland China and also to other jurisdictions that you can see there in Europe and Latin America. This is the service that we provide. I want to try to be brief. We provide inspection, sample checking, online inspection. Mainly what we do is with our customers, they are purchasing in different jurisdictions, in different locations. We control the quality of the goods, the integrity of the products, the infrastructure of the suppliers. Through our inspector testing, we have our 6 labs in Ningbo and our auditors. We work especially and mainly for the fashion industry, the textile industry, but not just for that. We also cover some hard lines products and also some industrial products. Okay, just focus today in the topic today. So back in 2013, when we decide that okay, we want to invest in this company, we want to invest in this business, we set up some goals. We need to set up a company with the idea to have local expansion in Asia and try to make it more international. Our goals is we need to do something that is easy to set up the company, is going to be fast, and it's going to easy to move the equity and the dividends and the capital. And we try to find a jurisdiction that was very, very friendly in tax proposal. And the condition is, at that moment, we have a Chinese partner in the mainland. So the link between the hub or the place that we want to set up the headquarters and the mainland China has to be easy in terms of mobility, equity, dividends, culture, and everything. And also to find a place that we can have a low admin cost. It means it's not very bureaucratic, or we don't have like a strong or high administration cost. So for this reason, we decided that Hong Kong was covering most of the needs that we have, and we decided back in 2013 to do this investment there. So how was the process, and how could be the process for a small and medium enterprise that decide to invest in Hong Kong like us? We are a company that, as you see, we are 160 employees now. At the moment that we started the company, we were less than 20. So we have a small equity that we start with $300,000. So it means we were and we are still a small and medium enterprise. So for us, set up the company was quite simple, and it's still very simple in Hong Kong. Take more or less 1 week, 10 days to have make all the paperwork. So the advantage also in Hong Kong is the service industry and all the companies that can provide help to you, not just through the Hong Kong trade and commercial development, also private companies. You have many size companies that they are super international, so they can speak you. Even you have companies, they can help you in Spanish, they can help you in other languages, because really Hong Kong is a very multicultural and it's really an international hub. So you can see the percentage of foreign population in Hong Kong is so huge. So it's very easy to find somebody that can understand not just your language and your culture, also the local one, also the mainland one, and also they can speak your language and understand the requirements that you can have in your headquarters or in that case in Spain, in the Spanish regulation, okay? We found, and it's something you have to do, you need to find a company secretary, you need to find an accounting, and all the companies in Hong Kong, in different with other jurisdictions, you have to make an annual audit. It means you have to audit your financial statements, that this is helping you also to calculate your taxes, and this is something that is mandatory and has to be provided to the IRD, because is the Island Revenue Department, is like the tax bureau in Hong Kong, okay? When we start to work there, we find something is quite interesting, that we have many local and many foreign talent in Hong Kong. It's something that when you go and, like the previous speakers explain, mainly, I don't remember your name, Ran, no? Yeah, Ran, she talked about when you go to mainland, there is a cultural shock, there is a problem with the language. Really in Hong Kong, the number of professionals that you can find for your business or even for your backup business, for everything is huge. Most of the population that is in the business speak English, they have a knowledge of the foreign culture, they have been studying overseas, they travel, so it's really, it's like a soft landing if you go to Asia, really. Then we open the bank account. In the past, yeah, no, I mentioned that because in the past was very easy. Now it's getting crazy because, you know, the financial institution in Hong Kong, they are trying to get more control about the laundry money and everything, because Hong Kong is shaking off this reputation that they have like a tax heaven and for money laundering, and really it's a little bit difficult. But there are new solutions in the market. There are like virtual banks. If really you want to start to roll your business in Hong Kong, you can do it. You really can do it. You find a temporary solution, and then when you have a tracking 6, 12 months, then you go to the traditional bank, HSBC, Standard Chartered, whatever, and really you can start to work normally. This is something I don't like so much, is the bank industry in Hong Kong. For me, it's quite old-fashioned, but anyway, it's I think they are trying to modernize a little bit. Okay. So as I mentioned to you, we have a mainland partner because we set up our business, especially the operation in mainland China. So we set up a joint venture. Robbie also mentioned before that when you are moving money from mainland China to overseas, that means equity, dividends, whatever, it's quite difficult. And my opinion is becoming more and more difficult, okay? In case your hub or your financial instrument or your headquarters is in Hong Kong and you want to move this equity, this money to mainland China, it's much more easy. In our case, the capital verification, that is a process you have to do in mainland China where you're investing there. It means it's more or less to track where the funds are coming from, and all the requirements that the tax bureau wants to do is much more easy. It's easy also for track the origin of the funds and everything. And from Hong Kong, it's not just easy to invest in mainland China, it's also very easy to invest in other jurisdictions. That could be Singapore. I have 1 minute, no? 2, okay. South of Asia, India, Bangladesh, or another places in Asia. This is what we look for, and we found more or less what we expect, but we found more. We found more in Singapore. We found a business ecosystem that is amazing. It's very business friendly. It's a city, as you mentioned before, is okay. We are not going to bother you, the government, but we are not going to help you. That this is what an entrepreneurship, the company wants. Really, we don't want the government help us, but we don't want the government bother us. So it's super business friendly. You have a huge expat community that is great for fine talent, and there are a lot of regional headquarters. That this is great also for make business. As I mentioned, it's an easy and super friendly administration. You see before the tax rates that you explained before, and they still have 90% of public health system. So with a 15% personal income taxes and 16.5% corporate income taxes. I'm not going to remind you the great tax policy, but this is one of the main attractions for Hong Kong. So low withholding taxes when you are importing dividends, low corporate income taxes, many deductions, and now with the pandemic, the government is making some incentives of the tax, especially in the personal taxes. And something that never mentioned is Spain has a double taxation agreement with Hong Kong. So so you can import your dividends to Spain. Just 10 seconds more. So the conclusion is a city with competitive services, the administration, the government, and you have presence of regional and local headquarters. That is huge. It's good to make business, to find local talent, and the tax environmental is great. It's friendly. Okay.
Thank you so much. Gracias por tu case study, amazing experience and a snapshot of what can be done in Hong Kong. Thank you, Ignacio. Y ahora os vamos a contar el último interviniente, último speaker. Es Marius Rosell, que nos va a hablar del case study de una de sus empresas, Trilogy. Marius, cuando quieras.
Vale, muchas gracias, Higinio. Muchas gracias. Tengo 11 minutos, ¿no? Creo, o algo así. 10. 10. Bueno, a ver. Hello, good morning, everyone. Hello to those that they are online. I think that, well, I made a different presentation that I think it will be a very good complement of yours, because you explained very well how to enter into Hong Kong and by extension China. But I'm the CEO of Trilogy. Trilogy is an e-commerce agency founded in 1999, so actually a long time ago. And it belongs to a group that also has another company that is a software company, also in the e-commerce sector. The company was founded here, and in 2010, we decided to go to China because we failed. The point is that we failed because we tried to enter into the European market, but the point is that, you know, in the end, Europe is have a lot of countries, different cultures, different languages. So in the end, it was quite difficult to enter into European market. So the reason why we decided to go to China was because it's one single market, very big, one language, one culture. And then, so I packed myself all the stuff and I moved to China. And the very first step that I did, it was to set up the company in Hong Kong. Luckily, back then, we didn't have any problem with the banks. So I could set up the bank account very easily. I want to, sorry, can you just, yeah. I want to share, these are the numbers why we wanted to go to China. Look how the online business increased from 2011 till 2021. Actually, 2022, the figures are pretty much the same. I guess that you are now aware about the Singles Day that happened just last Friday, right? Yeah. Some people say that they were the same figures as the 2021, but there are some other figures that is saying no. Yeah. So, well, I think that nobody knows except Alibaba. Yeah. More numbers. How was the annual growth rate? Well, the point is that at the beginning, the growth rate was insane because, well, it was a very good opportunity to go there. And this is also the main reason why we decided to go to China, no? And also our aim was to help companies, basically European companies, to enter into the Chinese market. And with some of them, the first step was also Hong Kong, because Hong Kong is honestly a very good step to make first before entering in China. All the regulations and things that explain Ignacio very well. So they are truth, and everybody wants to make it this way because I think it's very good. But not everyone succeeds in China. Yeah. And we all know that it's a very tough and difficult market. Yeah, just here there are a few brands that I guess you know pretty much them all. And the reason why they failed, there is not one main reason. Yeah, there are many reasons. Yeah, but mostly I would like to say one thing, but I would say it in Spanish because it sounds way better than in English, which is achinarse. Companies need to get Chinese. Achinarse, I think, is perhaps my favorite verb that we set up, because companies need to understand the market, needs to get the culture, yeah, and needs to adapt their services into that market. In fact, ourselves at Trilogy, we also failed at the very beginning into China, yeah, because we wanted to offer the same services that we were offering here in Europe for Hong Kong and China. And in general, they are the same services, but in fact, the services that you need to do are tailor-made for those markets, and you need to offer those services special for those companies to enter into these markets. And if we talk about, by extension, Southeast Asia is exactly the same. Southeast Asia is like Europe. Yeah, each country is different culture and different language. So the difficulty to go to the Southeast Asia is even harder. Some of these brands that you are seeing here, apart that they didn't got Chinese, yeah, or achinarse, so no se achinaron, there is a tough and big competition. We have done some of the consultancies for companies that before entering in China, what we suggest, and the such competition that they have there is insane. So not China and Hong Kong by extension also is not for everyone. You need to see who you have there, what are your competitors, how your services can fit into that market or not. Yeah, and you see here there are big brands that they also failed. Money is not everything. You need to understand well the market. Before, Ran pointed out that that you need to make it better or understand well your market, that market before entering. Yeah, but we have a still very good opportunity for all the brands, European brands and especially Spanish brands, because before you, Paula, mentioned that there are only 97 companies, 92, only 92 Spanish companies. So I think it's a very small number, very, very small number. Actually, I was kind of surprised. So we have a lot of opportunities. But Chinese are eager to find new brands. Yeah, and this is what we need to keep at the top of our mind. Yeah, because this will give us a big opportunities into that market. But there are some others that they are succeeding. Yeah, and these are some. I just try to put some that we more or less we know. Some of them are customers of ours, and there are different ways to do it. Yeah. Not the way to enter is always, obviously, that Ran also said before, that is through a partner. Perhaps there are some sectors that, yes, there are some sectors that going with a partner is perhaps the best option. But going by oneself, yeah, doing the things slowly, it's perhaps also a very good way to do it. And some other ways to do it, I'm confusing all the time with the computer. And, yeah, it's online. Mr. Pablo Vázquez before mentioned that the SMEs needs to digitalize. So the best ways to digitalize is going online. Yeah, actually, we help the online more than the offline. Yeah, but if you want to enter into different markets, not only Hong Kong and China, but also other markets, the easiest way is perhaps through the different online channels. I guess that you know more or less all them. Yeah, they are very famous. Alibaba, by extension, Tmall, Taobao, etc., WeChat, but other marketplaces like or social network like Xiaohongshu or Weibo can help you also to enter into the market. But also, it hadn't to be directly with the domestic. You don't need to set up a legal entity in Hong Kong and then China or directly to China. You can start doing the things step by step. You can actually sell from here, from your Spanish legal entity, and sending your products out from here, yeah, informing all your customers the time and all the information that, the more information that you can provide, the better, yeah? So we have some case studies where we recommended some small, medium companies to go step by step, yeah, provide all the services from here, and then open the Hong Kong business, the Hong Kong legal entity, where you can be more near to your final customer in China. And then the final step, it would be to do the domestic one, yeah? So cross-border, that I think many people are talking about, yeah, cross-border, it's one of the most popular things. It's something that we suggest. Starting cross-border, then go to China when you feel that the customer is asking you to be there. Everything has pros and cons. Well, here I put some of the information that could be very useful. And the suggestion for entering in China would be study the market. This is the first. Study very well your competitors, study your product, study your service, study the market trends, yeah? Define your channels, the target customers, the domestic or cross-border logistics, customer service. Everything can be done remotely. Everything can be done in cross-border, either from here or Hong Kong. Take into account the time difference, yeah? This is very important. Otherwise, people will start working at 3 a.m. in the morning here. But you can deliver this service from here, then go to Hong Kong and China. That would be a natural step. And a last suggestion, be patient and be patient. We have been already in the market for 13 years, yeah, but it took us a long time to make some money. Thank you very much.
Gracias, Marius. Abrimos un turno de preguntas. ¿Alguien quiere hacer alguna pregunta? Por favor.
Buenos días. Bueno, muchas gracias a los organizadores, a los ponentes. Quería hacer una